There he is. There. We already had a prayer and you're back on good. Come on in. Let's go. I should bring in a lot of cattle, so I waited to trust the water cattle.
Oh, short on time? Can you hear me all right now? Okay. Roberta, the meeting is open. We're open for public comment, but I do have a couple questions for you. So, good morning. So, when you were talking about the tax in those other counties, was it Wallace and Ford County?
I think that's what I said.
Yeah, okay. So my other question is, you said your tax went up in Sherman County, but I'm assuming you're talking about your house?
Yeah.
Okay, and in the other two counties, probably agricultural land?
Yeah.
Okay, so statewide, agricultural land went down because it's on a 7-year rolling average. Counties don't control the value on agricultural land. That's controlled by the state. Yeah.
Come up here.
Yeah.
Come up here.
Yeah.
So counties have, county operations have no input, no control whatsoever.
They submit information, what the water usage is, or, like what your crop prices and stuff are, but the state controls, it's called use value, not actual cash value of the land when they're doing that, and it's a 7-year average. So agriculture went down because now the average is rolled into the low crop prices. And now we've had high crop prices, but it'll be another 2 years and agricultural land will go back up.
So the county doesn't have any control over the county appraiser, county commissioners, no control whatsoever over the valuation or the taxation of agricultural land?
No. So, and like I say, I think there's not a county around you won't find that agricultural land went down.
Yeah.
Right. And of course, and I might be wrong, actually correct me if I'm way off, but I think about 70% of the taxes come off the agricultural land.
You mean the property taxes state
property taxes, like in our county, and I don't know about other counties.
I don't know.
But we had that broke out a few years ago, and I think it's around 70% of our taxes in Sherman County comes off agricultural land. So the minute they decrease a little bit, your commercial and residential property have to go up because the money has to come from somewhere. Does that make sense?
Thank you for researching.
So, but yeah, I got thinking about that, and because like in Cheyenne County or here, my residential went up, but my agricultural part went down. Mm-hmm. And so I figured maybe that's what was going on with yours.
Okay. Thanks for researching.
Sure, not a problem. What's that? Right.
Housing sale prices are way up. So.
Yeah. And that's the other thing. Housing sale prices went way up, in the last couple of years just because of the demand. Which, when houses sell for a higher price, it brings the price of all houses up because the state also monitors the valuation compared to what sale prices are. And I think we have to do it 5%? Mm-hmm.
Our valuation, the county appraisal valuation has to raise along with the housing market.
Yes, that is correct.
And then she's graded on that by the state.
Did you guys see anything wrong with the minutes?
I didn't. I did not. I didn't see anything wrong.
Okay. I'd make a motion we approve the minutes.
I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded. We approve the minutes as printed. All those in favor say aye. 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 Opposed, same sign. Motion's passed.
And that's for December 12th, correct? Minutes?
Yep. We're just about done signing check first. And I went through the bills. I didn't see.
I went through them on my phone there. I had, of course, we get that printout of all, and then all the, like, Verizon or whatever. And, you know, you see each individual one, and then we could make it just one check, which.
The only check I wondered about was there's a check for like $2,300-$2,400 overhead door. Did we have a problem with overhead door?
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that. Did we catch a door over at the EMS building?
Eric, do you know something happened on the doors over at Warlock Building?
Popped another spring.
On the ambulance door?
Yeah.
And then what happened? The door went whopper jawed, or did it cost $2,300 to put new springs in there?
I don't know what the bill was. They had to take out the bust spring and the spring on the other side, install 4 springs.
Huh.
Beat it up.
You're right.
Huh. That's not good. When that happens, is the door stuck where you can't get an ambulance in now?
So I think they initially called it red door and they put a little clamp in that 2 springs.
Yeah.
And so the door is semi-functional. They moved the fire trucks around and got the primary out ambulance fire bay, and we're a little possibly door in this situation that helps.
Okay. I don't know what a fix all would be for a safety net if you stop and think about it. If something goes wrong with that overhead door and an ambulance needs to go out, then what? I mean, that's a big door. I don't know. I don't know what the answer to that would be.
Well, probably what they did was parked an ambulance outside until, you know.
But I mean, if they're all inside, the call comes out and your door breaks.
Well, you got to remember at the moment we have one that's currently not as built. We currently have one that was out.
Okay.
But at least we have something.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I would make a motion. We pay the bills in the amount of $314,091.65 plus $245.
2 sets of bills.
Yeah, there's 2 sets of bills here.
Yeah, because the one was, the water softeners come in later, so.
Right.
Or didn't get it.
Yeah.
So, we'll second it. Been moved and seconded that we pay the bills. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passed.
I did talk to Brian James, Rod Roeder. I talked to the guy that's doing all the new Motorola radio updates, and the guy said he didn't have authorization to put the new channels in road and bridges. that was just a miscommunication, because I asked Brian, he said, of course, the ambulance, because of HEPA, would still be encrypted, you know, but Road and Bridge would be getting their updates in their radios, so that if there is a disaster, everybody will be able to talk to each other. So I think we got that straightened out.
Okay.
Guess our audience left.
Over.
Oh, okay. I understand that Tucker Olson is not coming in today. Is that right? So I guess you want to get a hold of the judge and come on down. We'll be ready or not.
This is the same contract we've had with animal control.
Yeah.
This is a new one.
Brett, explain that.
So if you guys remember, animal control wanted to do a slight increase in their fees, and there was an interlocal agreement. Jake and I talked about that if we revise the interlocal agreement, it have to go through the same process. So it'd have to go to the AG's office, whatever. Well, basically what ended up happening is now the city has a contract with her. County will have a contract with her. It's essentially the same terms. It includes the increase she asked for. So we're paying 30% of what her overall ask is. The county or the city is paying the 70%, but it's just separate agreements. So we'll have to send that thing back around.
Well, from reading it, that's what I remembered was that, you know, the fees that she was charging and what stipulations were and stuff. So everything looked good to you. So do I hear a motion we approve the animal control agreement?
I'll make a motion to approve the animal control agreement.
Second.
Been moved and seconded, we approve, and this will be from January 1 to December 31 of 2023. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion's passed. When's the last time the county did a NOP extension? Remember? Right? I was thinking there was one at one time, or somebody requested one. I can't remember. Not while I was here.
Yeah, there were some different circumstances, and I don't remember what they were. But,
for an extension?
Right. The thing is now, when you apply for this, you get a pack of information.
Yeah, exactly.
And you get all the information there. And so then, because I think that was part of the problem back then, we weren't giving enough information out, and they weren't aware.
But some of the things that could go with it is if they didn't get materials to complete the job of the project that they're on. And if it wasn't a completed job, and that, I know one was that they didn't have doors hung. Well, the appraiser wouldn't approve so they asked for an extension there.
I know we ran into one on the, wasn't an extension, but they had to change the pricing because on the Sonic, when they tore into the old Wendy's, there was a lot of problems in those walls that they were not aware of, which created a lot more money. And they came in and said, there's no way till we tore into it, but we couldn't tear into it to apply for the project. So, we give them some lenience on that. Each situation is different, but you got to be careful.
Yeah.
Because if you open the door,
that's right.
Yeah, you don't want to set
Yeah, those door for a lot of problems. So,
Because I believe on that, the appraiser was the one that approached us with the extension or something like that.
yeah, you're right.
So,
which is probably how it should.
yes, they're the ones involved in it. And I think a lot of it is communication with the appraiser's office makes a lot of difference.
Yep.
Now, we revoked one, well, the guy opted out, I guess, on a house.
Yeah.
Because he would not allow the appraiser to run look for it. And so we said, I'll just opt out then. We said she has to look to confirm that everything's done, but
So all choices.
yeah, it's,
We have some tax roll corrections where we're removing the solid waste on both of these. Tax year 2023, the reference of R1976. Am I looking at the wrong? Okay, there it is. 2022, 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros, 38 and 39. Both of these are just removing the solid waste in Canarado. I hear a motion,
I'll move that we accept those tax roll changes.
been moved and second, we accept tax roll changes. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Pose same sign. Motion's passed.
I haven't heard anything for quite a while about the packing plant in Canarado.
It's still, I talked to Mr. Korblick yesterday. He's got his last investor on board, and they hope by the first of the year or next week, whichever comes first, to be getting started in that venture. So
Now they did the dirt work already, is that
they've
right?
done the dirt work, and it just,
And is there some of the building laying there now?
I believe so, yes.
It looked like there's a bunch of red iron already stacked there, but I just hadn't seen much going on yet, so. My experience with contracting, putting up stuff, when he's talking about these fast timelines, man,
Yeah.
I've never seen a thing fall in place like it's supposed to yet on time. I was out to the landfill this week, took some stuff out, and they got the floor all back in. Looks good. It's working good. He said it's pretty smooth now.
Now that you're there,
Or sure. They had to tear the floor out there, however, they let down the rebar, wearing the concrete out with the acid off the trash and sliding the stuff to the baler. And so they had to kind of halt production, move it on the other side, which was a mess, and then tear that out and run new concrete. But it's all up and running good again now. So those guys do a pretty good job out there for us. We've had some ups and downs out there, but yeah, things going pretty smooth again now.
In the mail, these are the minutes from the High Plains Health Center. Board meeting of October 26th.
Oh, have you guys been up north of Canada and see where they got the new bridge all done?
I haven't been.
I've been up that way.
Looks pretty good, other than it's just dry.
Can't
Put the dirt in there, but nothing to do about that. I mean, they water packed some of it, but It'll get better once we start getting all this rain and snow.
Yeah.
Everything will get better then.
For sure. Good morning.
Yep, we're waiting on you. So you need an executive session?
If we probably could,
How long?
15 minutes.
Okay.
Who do you want?
You know what I want?
Who do you want present for the executive session?
Everybody here probably could do it.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with you staying. If you want to stay.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll make it.
A motion that we go into executive session for 15 minutes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The purpose for the executive session
out of executive session.
Are we back on? Okay.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve doors, maintenance, and locks, and security measures on the second floor.
I'll second that motion.
Been moved and seconded, we, approve, door locks and security measures on the second floor. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Thank you, Joe Schilling. We won't see you until next year, will we?
I sure hope so.
Hey, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to all of you.
Thank you.
So, what we got left is this Rhonda. Okay. Harvey, you got anything?
You know, just trying to learn, watch and learn.
Well,
We from Ms. Fernandez, we got our nail, got our contracts, tax rolls, we're good.
cybersecurity meeting over.
Yep.
Big thing anymore. Isn't it? I seen they were over at Good Sam's cleaning much more stuff out of there. I don't know if that's the school cleaner out or
I think it's college clean.
they had a trailer back up there. Looked like most of this, I thought it was going to the dump, but there was a lot of, it didn't look like anything valuable on the trailer, but there's quite a few people that are hauling stuff out, so they must be working on it,
We're pretty excited about it.
getting her going. Huh?
Always good to put our old building to good use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
I talked to a family member of one of the residents of Good Sam, and they're having a birthday party for him this week. And so it's just real nice. They can bring, they thought they could have 40 people come in to celebrate a birthday.
Mm-hmm.
It's really, really nice.
You know, something for food for thought for next year. We just dropped the ball and getting it done, but we're always going to talk to Tompkins family about the possibility of getting that road on out 27.
Yep.
So, got better access to that. We got better access to the hospital, the ambulance and stuff. Don't know if we're ever getting done there, but that would sure be nice to have a road there. Be a lot better for the ambulance when they got to come to the hospital.
Yep, it would.
Besides,
Well, no, it'd be a county road because it'd be out of city limits, but we would have to acquire the land from the Tompkins family because they own the land there.
Bring a street across just north of the facility.
Yeah, it would go clear out to 27, and I know
that would be a good.
John Toplift had started talking to him a little bit, and then I don't know, I guess we just kind of forgot about it. And I was just trying to think of things. While I was here, we didn't ever get finished, and that's one of them we never did pursue or finish up, but that would be a big asset if we could do that.
Yeah, because if you could put a flat street in there, Not have to run them dips.
Yep.
Even if it was gravel for a while.
Yeah. Just a good street through there for now would be a huge asset.
There you go, Harvey. That's your first
Then we've always talked about fixing this alley out here. Where the water drains and stuff. It's been kind of a mess.
Yeah, they wouldn't let us put that on the highway, the project sales tax.
Yeah.
So that's going to be done a different way. I did ask Rod to go over and talk to Burton about patching some of the holes and stuff in his lot. If he could throw some millings or something in there. I don't know why he never followed up.
Yeah.
He said he'd go over and talk to him. I don't know. It just needs tore out and redone.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we have so many power lines.
No, there's a lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff running underneath there.
A lot of hand digging.
Yeah.
You can use backhoe and then really light up your life when you hit that.
That's probably something we need to talk to the city about. They've been joined up that.
Did we ever get the deed straightened out on the land out there east of the county or west of the county shop? Okay. Because we learned, Harvey, we were thinking about building a building out there once upon a time. And when we started doing the research, the county didn't own that. The family that owned the land across the road, it still owned it somehow. It was supposed to be deeded to the county and the ball got dropped. And so we had to get that over in the county's name. Turned out to be kind of quite a process, but we got it done anyhow. I think it's good to always have new blood rotating through here, but then a lot of times things kind of get dropped or forgot about, or it's kind of like there's a million resolutions on a book. Probably some of them overlap or duplicate, but no way to know them all. But you'll learn as you go. That was quite a process when we remodeled the old Warlock building, because that's how that started out. We wanted to build a new building out there for the ambulance service. Then the city came to us about that building sat empty, and we worked a thing with them, and I think we have a 30-year contract. It's perpetual, and it rolls over.
That was right.
So, and that's turned out to be a really good asset for the county.
Yes. But we have all the, except for when we have a severe weather, and then they pull roof stuff out so that if the building would be hit, we wouldn't lose all the equipment right away.
Right, like a tornado or something. And that's probably that emergency management program, isn't it, Eric? That different things go different directions.
Yeah.
We probably won't get that windbreak up for the county building until after the first of the year.
Okay.
And I'll kind of make sure we get that up, but Rod ran into a little health issue, and then he had to leave for his kids for Christmas, so I just can't get it done in time, so that's fine. Things happen.
Yes.
But we did get the paperwork filled out so we can get grant money for that, right, Ashley?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll be paid for that with that grant, so.
It's an exciting new world, Brett. And boring.
Oh.
Ashley, we had a lot of department heads submitting for ARPA projects.
I haven't asked, I didn't know how you guys wanted, you want to ask them if they still want current projects, if they submitted it?
Submitted or
Well, yeah, I mean, maybe they've changed their mind or added to it, or yeah, I mean, we need to gather the information. I know we got time, but
Yeah, I can do that.
see if they've got new ideas.
Steve, you were asking about the contract, I think last week, out here on the Campbell landfill. Was that you or Rod asking about? What's our contract with those cameras?
that's with
Next Tech.
Next Tech.
Were you thinking maybe we need to update that or change something? Or?
Well, see what it is, because I think we can have Eric look at it, or probably provide some of the same
For a lot cheaper.
for a lot cheaper.
Yeah, I would agree. That was pretty expensive.
What do you think about that, Eric?
Those cameras are pretty high up.
I need a bucket truck.
Hey, we can talk to the fire chief, we can get you on the...
No, you can't.
Oh, do you want me to bring my scoop tractor in?
I put a ladder in the scoop.
Yeah. Good morning, Rhonda.
Morning, Rhonda.
Come on up. First drive in this heat wave.
Oh, yeah, it's lovely.
Not bad yet.
Better than Thursday.
I mean, the temperature, it's not bad. It feels pretty good compared to what,
Yeah,
with the wind blowing the other day.
but yeah,
You
it
know.
was so nasty.
Yeah, the wind But you have to bring the calm before the storm.
That's right.
Okay. Let's see here, we have on the first page, I put
Turn your mic and get it a little closer to you. Yeah.
Are we there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretend you're singing.
That would not be good.
We're singing solo, so they couldn't hear you, right?
Well, my sisters always said, Mom, don't let her sing, because she can't hold a note, and don't let her get in front of the camera because she's not photogenic. So, not singing is the best thing for you all. Okay, on the first page, we didn't have the prescription rebate information when we met the other day, and I thought that was important to share with you. We do get 80% of the rebates from Blue Cross and Blue Shield. And if you look on that left-hand side, I've highlighted what we've had from March of 22 and what they're expecting through February of 23, about 74,000. That comes back into your account
Okay.
for prescription drugs. And we've done pretty well over the last several years. It started in 18, and you'll see we've had around 267,000 that have come back to the county in those rebates. Okay, on page 2, you have to bear with me here. I'm not good at filling in these numbers, and I had nobody to help me. Blue Cross got these to me about 5 o'clock on Friday. So we've talked already about page 2 here, which is, again, just comparing the renewal from our current benefits. So, again, our big change, I mean, our claims went up a little bit too, but the money we never see again is the fixed cost. And our fixed cost went up $80,000 for 2023. So that's some money we can maybe control.
So we did get that $50,000 stop loss in, and it's only a $5,800 increase in fixed cost. And again, that's money that we don't see again. And it does shift that money because you're liable again for $10,000 more in stop loss claims. And so you can see we went from our claims funding at $1,359,673 to $1,449,681 in claims funding on page 3 at the top. So we're keeping more money here. The savings is enough to cover several stop loss claims, going from $80,000 and an increase down to $5,800. So we'd have to have quite a few people hit that, about 7 people. So good to know there. And then we looked at option 2, which is a $40,000 stop loss. And I want to take you to another page so we can talk about those benefits and what that looks like. We would go to page 7. It's kind of in the group rating down there at the bottom, just to kind of go through the top of the benefits a little bit. We're currently a grandfather plan, which means, our benefits have been the same since the Affordable Care Act went into play. And so we haven't made any changes. If we leave the grandfather status, we cannot go back. If we leave, that 50-50 to the 1,500. So what I looked at, just to see how far we needed to go to get closer to where our rates are now. And at the top of page 7, you'll see we could go to a $1,500, $3,000 upfront deductible. Then Blue Cross would pay 50%, or your plan would pay 50%, and the employee would pay 50%. But we have to go clear up to that 50% keeps going to $6,350 on one person or $12,700 on the family. So significant change in out of pocket, but the advantage here is if I go to the doctor, I just have a $35 or $70 office copay. And I have, that's the big change. Just, a lot of people just don't hit their 50-50. Right now, if they have an office visit and it's $150, for instance, they're paying half. Blue Cross is paying half. On this plan, if I never hit my deductible, but I see the doctor a couple of times, I'm just paying $35
per visit.
But
out of pocket for their deductible, so they had a major problem.
If they hit their deductible, it's $1,500.
Okay.
And then it's 50-50 to the maximum out of pocket at $6,350.
Okay.
So that's quite a bit of change.
Yeah.
And that's what you run into when you go non-grandfathered in some cases. Now, the other one that I looked at, if you'll flip the page, on a fully insured basis, I looked at the same plan, but with an 80-20 to 5,000 and 10,000. And you can see the fully insured rates at the bottom, but they do not include dental.
That's on page 8?
Page 8.
Yeah.
So, but again, you've got still that 80-20 to 5,000 and 10,000.
Yep.
But that office copay, again, that's kind of important to keep in mind that the day-to-day things and your prescription card is still there. So if we'll go back then, I just wanted you to see there's two different, we can do a 50-50 or an 80-20 after the deductible. But if we take that one that we were talking about, that's 50-50, because that was our biggest saving on the self-funded, that page 7.
Right.
And if you'll look at that with me on page 3, you'll see, again, we have a $40,000 stop loss just like we have today. Our fixed cost would be that $620,000. Just that doesn't change, changing the stop loss or the coverage. But the funding is $1.134 million versus $1.359. So there's a little bit of savings between that $40,000 on page 2 at the bottom, and then the bottom of page 3, the $134,000 on the right.
Mm-hmm.
So a little over $20,000 in funding. But again, that's money only spent if we have claims.
Right now, we're at the $40,000 stop loss.
Right. Up on the top, you've got the current and the renewal, and here are these renewal options 1 and 2 on page 2. And again, on page 2 there, the second page at the top, or 3 at the top, we have a lower fixed cost because we're paying $10,000 more in stop loss. And I think that's, again, we're going up $5,800 versus $80,000 by keeping the $40,000 stop loss. So that's a pretty big hit there.
Yes.
Let's go ahead and flip to page 4, and then we'll kind of start going through some questions. On page 4, it's the same benefits, again, as option, the one prior to this, but it has that 80/20, and this is a fully insured program that would work with that medical, that MERP program, that HRA program. And so when we look at that, we're looking at $1,381,000 for your total per year. You have an admin fee, and again, this does not include dental, because when we leave our plan that's self-funded, we have to get our dental outside, and that becomes about a $76,000 over the top of this 1.3 that we need to add in. So this is, again, an 80/20 plan after the $1,500 deductible, has the drug card, those kinds of things. But we have to add in that admin fee for the MERP, and that's around $43,500. We have to also cover all the claims under the $5,000 that the employee's not paying on our part, the 80% of those claims. And so that starts adding up. We're already at 1.5 when we just add a few things in. My concern here is we're not getting any prescription rebates. We're also taking employees out of pocket up to $5,000 and $10,000. We are also, we don't have any chance gain or any, we just go with the flow on our claims. So the rates look really good, but we do have to, unless we don't want to administer any other type of plan to help offset the employee cost, we're still going to have to self-fund some money in this plan to cover that $3,500, $7,000 on all others. So you would have to take that times however many people get that maximum. I did have a concern too with pharmacy benefits. When we looked at our pharmacy last week, we have several people that are using significant dollar amounts in prescription drugs. I think we had one that was like $48,000 through just this point in time. So as those drug costs continue to increase, we're not going to get any rebates when we go fully insured. The other thing, Blue Cross is on the risk pretty much for every dollar.
Right.
Instead of us having that window of opportunity to save money between $1 and the $40,000 or the $50,000 stop loss. I actually had a call. The second one is kind of the same thing. It involves the MERP and some money's there, but those claims have to be funded under that. So if we're looking at a $5,000 attachment point on a person who uses a medication that's 40, let's just make it an even amount, $40,000 a year. That person is going to hit that $5,000 really quick.
Right.
And then Blue Cross, that's all on them at that point, which means our utilization is only going down by $5,000, which is not a lot of money. The concern that I have, and talked to this person yesterday that I work with, you guys have been self-funded so much and can control some of those costs by being self-funded. Their attachment point doesn't really alleviate utilization because it's $5,000 or $10,000 or up to $6,350, whatever. That's a minimal amount when we have about 6 people taking pretty high dollar drugs. So I have to go back to the self-funding and think that's a better way for us to go.
And the grandfather plan. Well,
one or the other. I hate to make a change. I know money's money, but we either look at a comprehensive major medical or I think a self-funded plan. But we're staying where we're at. We can look at, again, it's going to increase a little bit. Let's go back here and compare that $50,000 with the $40,000 on page 3. Again, if we can take that comprehensive major medical up to $50,000, and that will bring down our fixed cost to the $545,000. But when we're looking at claims funding, if we go up to $50,000, that's going to, again, go up a little bit. My concern with that, having a 50-50 co-insurance, which was the best the least expensive for the county to look at, does put quite a bit out of pocket back on the employee.
Right.
And I don't know what your goal is at this point, but we can look somewhere in between as well. But that 1,500 comp major med at 50/50 is pretty common plan. We can offer a dual option, which we've done in several counties, where the county picks one option that you're paying 100% up, and then if the employee wants to buy up, you apply what you're paying on one option towards the other. So every employee is receiving the same amount of money, but they pay the difference if they want to buy up. We've got groups doing a comp major med with a health savings account, high deductible health plan that gives them the opportunity to put money in a savings account. That's their money when they leave the county or when they retire to pay your Medicare supplements and medical expenses at that point too. So there's a lot of, we can get pretty creative here on what you want to do with benefits. I think the MERP is a good program, but it's also what I've used to get people started to moving towards self-funded. You guys are past that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to bring up one more thing because I know, you know, Blue Cross has been a favorite, and it is across the state. Looking at some other options outside, we have several groups that are with other third-party administrators to process and pay claims. And they're very creative on getting you some solutions for problems like prescription drugs. We're working with a group right now that's very similar in size to you all. And they have a prescription vendor that we use. Plus, they get 100% of the rebates. But this prescription vendor also has a avenue to get low or no cost prescription drugs to your employees, down to where they pay nothing. And if they meet a certain criteria, the plan doesn't see any claims on the prescription drugs. Drugs help hurting our utilization. They're completely out of the loop. And we have a group right now. We have 2 people using this in this group that we've moved it to here just a few months ago. And those 2 were $375,000 a year of medication.
Wow.
And they look at income and those kinds of things, if depending on where they're at. We have one person that's a pretty high paid, but due to the price of the drug and the family income and the number of children, that medication is also zero to the plan and to him. So we can't, Blue Cross has a lot of different avenues that they use, but that is not one of them. And if we took your prescription drug utilization off, that's several $100,000 between those people. Just a couple of them are $100,000 together. So we have some different solutions out in the market that are helping our clients. Now, network, we have to make sure we have cross, we've got to connect to Nebraska, we've got to connect to Colorado, those kinds of things. I've looked at it about every year, but some of these changes might be worth taking a look at. I mean, even if it's not this year, working on it towards next year to see some other third-party administrators who you might want to take a look at. But it's just, Blue Cross does a lot of things really well, coming up with some of these new products and being creative in the marketplace. I'm constantly getting different information on all kinds of ways to save costs, to reduce your bottom line, to look better on that utilization piece.
Mm-hmm. I think you have to be very careful what you do, because I might go into the state meetings and stuff, when you talk to a lot of other commissioners down there, if you want to lose employees rapidly, screw with their health insurance.
Well, and exactly. And you would want to match the benefits you have today. You can always move it, Larry, and stay grandfathered. It's hard to leave Blue Cross. I'm not saying it's not.
Right.
I mean, we know the network. We know, they pay claims well. They have 100% of the hospitals and 99% of providers in the state of Kansas.
Right.
I'm not knocking that one bit.
Right.
But having some creativity and some solutions to mitigate some of these costs for small clients it's just not there.
Yeah, I think that, Blue Cross Blue Shield is the benchmark where we want to be. And I think some of these companies that can work with different vendors are setting the pace that Blue Cross Blue Shield comes back and says, well, they're going to start stealing our stuff, and so we're going to, we need to look at that too. And so,
that's one of the reasons they started the 80% of the rebates.
Yeah. So I think it's, our employees are a very, very valuable asset that we need to take care of, and I don't want to put more burden on them if we can help it. And looking at these, I like looking at the 40,000 stop loss, staying there with that. And
my opinion is, there's tons of options out there, but things are going to have to get pretty tough before I would want to stray away from what we've got.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I mean, I'm not saying that day won't come, but it hasn't.
And I appreciate that I have to tell you everything that's out there because I work for you.
Well,
and at some point, if you need to know if that's something you want to do, we can look at that.
Well, I think that's the thing, though, that you're out there looking at all these things all the time.
Exactly.
And, we're getting it on a quarterly basis or something. And so it's so vitally important. My wife always says I'm insurance poor. But, it has benefited me quite well to make sure we have that. And the younger employees sometimes think, well, I can get by with a little less of this thing. But our older employees are thinking this is, we want to be taken care of now. We've been here this long, let's stay with it. And I agree with that program. So.
And again, looking at that MRF, I think, you have an extra card to handle when you're seeing providers and those kinds of things. You have two cards everywhere, and that's my hesitation with that program. But again, I just want to reassure you that, we can look at anything anybody else can and then some. So if you want to see what's out there, we can show it. But I also know you guys have really stayed solid with your $1,500, $3,000 share pay program. Yeah. And again, we can find something in between, but keep in mind on those fixed costs, that's money that you never see again. If we keep it in our, the bank here, that's more money staying here.
That's right.
What do we got right now, like 1.3 million or something we've saved so far?
I think that's what that was.
Pretty close. So if this is a bad plan, we would have never saved a dime. I mean, it's got the good years and bad years, but we can't control that. You're always going to have that no matter what you're in jail.
Exactly.
I
think by saving money over these, this is back to 2012, versus fully insured where we were just going up every year, even when we had good years.
Right.
This has been a program that's worked really well for the county. Yeah, 1.355. Yeah. So, but every once in a while you got to look at everything and see what's out there. So I think we kind of looked. Again, I didn't go outside of Blue Cross because I didn't think that was a shot, but I wanted you to know that's there when the next guy comes in the door.
Well, my opinion is you better just stay where you're at right now. I mean,
if you took actual claims, actual numbers, and plugged them into some of these other options, these numbers would probably look.
Yeah,
because you start looking at that option, and like she said, you're at 76,000 already for dealing with that. Add that much more, well, you've already got that on there with the other. And then you start going, well, gosh, when it's all said and done, we haven't seen that much of an increase.
Well, and again, the problem with that is on those high dollar items, they're not reducing our risk really to Blue Cross. I mean, one prescription a month would eat up our maximum cost, and then all that utilization is right back where it is now. Where now we have that window of 40 or 50, whatever you decide, that you're taking on that risk. and that attachment point to Blue Cross is further out than it is on the MERP. And then dealing with those two cards,
Yeah.
you've got to show this one first, even on your prescriptions, and then your Blue Cross second. And I'm not saying it in the right situation. If you're really needing to do something, that's not okay, but it's a lot of work for probably your day-to-day in your clerk's office and our office as well.
Mm-hmm.
But, in the right situation, that's a good thing, because some groups can't self-fund. They're just not large enough to do that. And so those groups around that 25 to 50 can get some relief in that size group. But anyway.
Well, we weren't sure when we started this. I mean, we said we'd try it, and it worked out well, and you thought it would work, and it did real well.
I'm of the opinion that still we're out on a $40,000 stop loss and
Keep this what we got in place.
keep
I'm right with you.
Back to that, ambulance flight.
Yes, Harry, that's a massive.
What would that end up costing the county?
It's $12.50 per household, so per employee per month. So what do we have, Ashley? About 75, maybe 85, including your. Okay. About $12,750 a year.
What are we paying right now?
There's more than that.
Yeah.
And of course, it's the same with the other one, but it's per household. So anybody living in that household is covered, right?
Yes, if you're taking care of an elder parent, they're living in your household, if they're covered, or grandchildren, whatever.
And then we need to know what the renewal is on what we've already got. Is that?
AirMed?
And there or something.
Maybe they may have changed again.
Yeah.
4810 was last year. 4,000.
So it'll be about,
I'm going to say that it's more than $12.50 a month.
Hold on. That's per month or per year?
Per person per month.
Oh, per month. Ours is just one time.
oh, it's for the entire year? Huh.
But you have to be on their plan.
Yeah.
See, we had an employee of the jail that had a child that was flown by Children's, and they got a big bill of that because it wasn't flown by the company, and that one made a big difference. So, and I like this because they will help you return.
So it's 74 slots, $65.
And of course, then we used to have the life save, and that went away.
I'm not saying.
Yeah, because we used to pay them both.
Right.
That's about one total.
It's probably kind of close to the same with the two of them together.
96, 97, so a little bit higher, but
You don't have to have the right one to get
right.
help.
Yeah, and that's the last thing on your mind when you be falling out. Get the right plane. In case I live, in case I do live through this, I want to go pay the bill.
We were doing the life team and the Eagle Med together. We were spending pretty close to the.
Yeah, I just looked up life saving with Air NE, $3,000.
$9,000.
How much longer do we have on? Does that expire first of the year on the one we currently have?
End of
which would be coincide.
We can start this anytime if you want to start at March 1, since you still have that in place. January 1, whichever.
Be a pretty nice additional benefit.
Yes.
It's been well received by employees for the company's been paying it all. Just due to, again, everybody knows somebody who's had a
Yeah.
had an experience out of pocket.
Yeah.
Do we need a motion to continue with the program that we have, that we want to do for next year? Yes.
So move.
I will second it.
And we're going to go stay with the 40,000 stop loss and include this with Blue Cross and then go with the different air transport or medical let's go medical transport service.
So they all kind of do the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And moved and seconded to continue with the program. We have all those in favor say aye. 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 Opposed, same sign. Very good, Rhonda. Thank you.
Consulting agreement. Ashley, have I missed anything? You've been in county heaven lately. Morton County, Bonnie County, everybody. Blue Cross is January renewal came out really late. So
Your contract, whatever, 3 years.
it's 3 years, and we don't change our fees during that 3-year period.
Right.
Usually, unless I have not yet, but unless something crazy happens, and then it'll automatically renew. But I never let it automatically renew. I try to
Make sure that.
still put it together. And if there's anything that is not working, you can also let me know. 120 days out, 20 days out. And
Have you looked at this, Brett? Everything looks okay. Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'd make a motion. We renew the consulting fee contract then.
I will second that as well.
Then moved and seconded, we continue the consulting contract with PIC. And all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion is passed.
Looking for the signature page.
Yeah.
Because I'll go right to my cough.
Yep.
Sorry. When I go off first of the year, what do I need to do? I have to sign something for Cobra.
yes.
Do I need to contact you or?
We have a Cobra administrator, so I should put that in if you have questions.
Okay.
I can time you because you have a 60-day window.
Okay. Okay.
So if you're not here, then you need to let them know that they're going to
Okay.
I think you all have my cell phone, so you don't have to take a call.
Good too.
I know I've seen the chick, because I know I talked to you claims over the year.
Yeah.
You guys don't utilize the insurance like I do. You know, once you come to
You're low
the,
maintenance.
Well, I don't know about that.
does she need to sign them? Okay.
These go back to Rhonda.
Thank you.
You got an extra card?
Should I do it?
We'll give it to Harley.
Get out of your way in case you have somebody else on with
No.
time.
We're done.
We're done.
Or I can forward your number to Harvey too, so.
That would be great.
Do I hear a motion for adjournment?
So move. I'll second it.
Been moved and seconded, we adjourn. All those in favor say aye. Aye. On the same sign, motion